Okay, so to review for the test coming up on Tuesday, we need to be able to do measurement conversions. You'll need to be able to go back and forth between feet and inches. Let's say I give you 3 feet and I want to know how many inches. How do we do that? Well, I know most of you can do it without using a conversion factor, but I'm going to set it up here. Make 3 feet over 1 to make it a fraction. And we're going to multiply it by a conversion factor. The feet are going to be on bottom so they'll cross cancel out. And inches on top. 1 foot equals 12 inches. So the feet cross cancel. 3 times 12 inches is 36 inches. The reason I showed you that, because it's much different if it is 3 square feet going into square inches. Still make it 3 square feet over 1. But square feet to square inches, 1 square foot is not 12 square inches. It is how much? Squared, so it's 12 by 12. 12 times 12 is 144. So the square feet cancel out. We've got 3 times 144, which is 432 inches squared. You should be able to take standard into metric, like 7 inches into centimeters. So 7 inches over 1. Inches are going to go on top or bottom? Bottom. So centimeters on top. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. The inches will cancel out. It's 7 times 2.54. 17.78 centimeters. You need to make those conversions with gallons and pounds and kilograms and all that. For example, if I tell you that we have 3 gallons, I want to know how many liters that is. Bless you. So 3 gallons over 1. Gallons on bottom, liters on top. 1 gallon is 3.79, I believe, is what your book uses. Liters. So it's 3 times 3.79. 11.37 liters. Need to know what a complement and a supplement are for angles. What is the complement of 32 degrees? Complements add up to what? 90. So 90 minus 32 is 58 degrees. What is the supplement of 41 degrees? Well, supplements add up to 180. So 180 minus 41 is 139 degrees for supplement. What's that? That's 139 degrees. You're confused. Where are you lost at? Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, yeah. 41 degrees, you're right. I would have never caught that. Need to know the rules of angles for parallel lines and for triangles. If I tell you that this angle here is 29 degrees, this angle here is 86 degrees, could you find this angle here? I'll leave it up to you guys to see if you can. I'll give you a minute, see if you can find it. This one becomes a matter of putting together the right angles. What's this angle here have to be? 29. What's this angle here have to be? 94. Why is that 94? You got it. This is a straight line across here, so it's 180 minus 86. So that means this angle has to be 57. How do I get 57 for that one? Magic? Yeah, the triangle has to add up to 180. So it's 180 minus the 29 minus the 94. Gives us 57. Now that I know that's 57, what do I know about this one? It's 57. They have to be the same. Because there's that, this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle will all be 57. What if I ask you to find, given that that's a right angle, side x? I'm going to give you a minute in your notes to find that. So the 10 and the 24 are legs. So I'm going to call them sides A and B. Side x is the hypotenuse. I'll call that side C. So this is going to be 10 squared plus 24 squared equals x squared. 10 squared is 100. 24 squared is 576. If I add 100 and 576, I get 676 equals x squared, which means I only have to square root it. So 26 equals x. Try to find y in that one. So again, my legs are y and 7. So I'm going to call them A and B. The hypotenuse is the 35. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared is going to become y squared plus 7 squared equals 35 squared. Y squared doesn't change. 7 squared is 49. 35 squared is 1,225. Subtracting 49. Y squared is 1,176. And we square root. Square root of 1176 is 34.29 feet. Any questions? Okay. Next, we're going to talk about area and perimeter. For this figure here, how would I find the area? Is it going to be, it's going to be 20 inches. Is it going to be 20 times 17? Say no. No. I have to multiply two perpendicular dimensions, two dimensions that are at right angles. So I need this dimension here. I can find it because this is a right triangle. If I call that side A, the other leg would be the 8 inches. The 17 inches is the hypotenuse, so that's side C. So you have A squared plus 8 squared equals 17 squared. I'll let you do the math on that to find out that A is 15 inches. So that means my area is 20 inches times 15 inches, or 300 inches squared. The perimeter then is found by just adding up the sides. So I've got 20. Am I going to add the 17 or the 15? 17. Plus another 20, plus 17. That adds up to 74 inches. Any questions on that figure? All that means is that's a half circle up there. So we have 8 feet by 15 feet. So let's start out by finding the area. Area here is going to come in two pieces. Piece 1 is a rectangle, 15 by 8. Otherwise known as 120 feet squared. Piece 2 is a half a circle. So the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. What's the radius going to be here? The diameter would be how much? 8 feet. So the radius has to be 4, half of that. So pi times 4 squared. I'm dividing by 2 because it's only half a circle. So pi times 4 squared is 25.12 square feet. So it adds up to give us an area of 145.12 square feet. So there's my area. My perimeter is again found by adding up the sides. I've got 15 feet plus 8 feet plus 15 feet plus I've got to find the length of this arc. That arc is half a circle. So we'll find the circumference of the whole circle is pi times diameter, which would be 8 feet. It's only half the circle though, so we're going to divide by 2. 12.56 feet. So that ends up being 50.56 feet of perimeter. Any questions on that one? You've got to divide it up into two pieces, rectangle and this half circle. The next one. Let's start out with the area. Here's what I'm going to do for the area. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it a large rectangle. The area of that large rectangle, what's this length here going to be? 32 feet, right? 26 plus 6. How about this way? 19 feet, good. So the area of the big thing is 32 feet by 19 feet, which is what, 288 feet squared? No? 608, thank you. 608 feet squared. That would have been a big one. Then we got to subtract out this rectangle, which is 3 by 6. That's 18 square feet. So we're now to 590 square feet. And then we got to subtract out this triangle over here. Well, what's this dimension going to be? It's 19 the whole way from here to here. This is 12. What's left? It's 19 minus 12. 7 feet. What's this dimension here? It's 32 the whole way. We got 8 feet here. 24. Good. So that triangle is 24 feet by 7 feet, but we got to remember to divide it by 2 because it is a triangle. Subtracting 84 square feet. Which gives us a total of 506 square feet of area. For perimeter, I've got 12 feet here, plus 26 feet here, plus 3, plus 6, plus 16, plus 8, plus I need to know this length. How am I going to find it? Perfect. 7 squared plus 24 squared equals, I'll call that C squared. Again, I'm going to leave you to go through the formula. That comes up to be 25 feet. So plus 25 here. So this is what? 42, 45, 51, 67, 75, 100 feet of perimeter. Any questions? Next on the list was volume and surface area. Okay. So if I give you a cylinder with a diameter of 8 inches and a height of 15 inches. To find the volume, what's the first thing I need to find? There's the base. The base of this is the circle. Find the area of the circle will be pi times what? Radius squared, right? 4 squared. Good. This is a diameter of 8, so it'd be a radius of 4. Pi times 4 squared is 25.12. That's inches squared. So from that I can find the volume. The area of the base, the 25.12 inches squared, times the height of 15. $376.8. That is now inches cubed. There's my volume. Pretty simple. For surface area, there's two things I need to add. In the area of the base, which is 376.8, or not 376.8, 25.12 up here, inches squared. I'm adding it in twice, because there's another one on top. What else gets added into this? Something called the LA. What's LA stand for? Lateral area. Find the lateral area. I need two things. I need the perimeter of the base, and I need the height. The height's just the 15 inches. The perimeter of the base is the circumference of this circle. Pi times diameter, pi times 8. Did I screw this up? I did, didn't I? I'm going to pause for a second and come back to it. I'm going to start this over. Pi times 4 squared is not 25.12. Pi times 4 squared is 50.24. That is the area of my base. So this is 50.24 times 15, which is 753.6. So down here for the area of my base, it's 50.24, 50.24. Everybody got that straightened out? Sorry about that. So then, perimeter of my base, pi times 8 is 25.12 inches. So my lateral area is the perimeter of the base, 25.12 inches, times the height of 15 inches, which is going to give me 376.8 inches squared. So I add that up and I have 477.28 inches squared for my total surface area. I'm going to throw you guys an easy one to try. Let's say this one is 20 inches by 12 inches by 10 inches. Find the volume and the surface area. First step, find the area of the base. We're going to treat that 20 by 12 as our base. 240 square inches. So the volume, 240 square inches of the area of the base times the height of 10 inches, 2,400 inches cubed. How many of you had that for volume? Okay. So for surface area, we've got the area of our base and the area of our base again because there's one on top. We need the lateral area. Excuse me. To do the lateral area, we need the perimeter of the base, which is going to be 20 plus 12 plus 20 plus 12. It's going to be 64 inches. So the lateral area is at 64 inches times our height of 10 inches. That gives us the lateral area of 640 inches squared. This all adds up to 1,120 square inches of surface area. Anybody have that? Or would have got there if I'd have given you time? No? Let me try that a little better. So for this one, find the volume. We're going to start out with the area of the base again. The area of the base is just a square 16 inches by 16 inches. 256 inches squared. The volume is the area of the base, 256 inches squared, times the height, the 15 inches, divided by 3. 1,280 inches cubed. So any questions on the volume? The difference, since it's a cone or a pyramid, you divide by 3 once you do the area of the base times the height. For surface area, we have the area of the base, which is 256 inches squared. But it's only once because there is no base on top. Now for the lateral area, we need 2 things. One is the perimeter of the base, which is 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16, or 16 times 4, makes 64 inches. But we do not multiply by the height. We need to know, since the surface does not go straight up and down, what this slant is. And we find that slant by making this right triangle. This is 15. This is half of the length of the side, so this is 8. So this, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 15 squared plus 8 squared equals that slant squared. Once again, I will let you guys do the math to confirm that slant is 17 inches. So the lateral area is the perimeter of the base is 64 inches times the slant is 17 inches, But since those lateral surfaces are not rectangles anymore, they're triangles, this is divided by 2. So 64 times 17 divided by 2 is 544, I believe. Yep. Okay. So our total surface area is found by adding those all together, both of them, to get 800 square inches. Any questions on that one? I give you a sphere with a radius of 3 feet. Find the volume and surface area. I'm going to let you guys take a shot at those. Those are just, if you recall, the formula for volume is 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. So that's 3 cubed. Which is going to end up being, so we're going to do 4 divided by 3 times pi, so we're going to times 3.14 times 3 cubed. 113.04. That is feet cubed. Anybody remember the formula for surface area? It's 4. You look confused over there. Gabrielle?
I don't know myself somehow.
Okay. So the formula is 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. So you punch that in, it's going to be 4 divided by 3 for the 4/3 times pi is 3.14. Then times our radius is 3 to the power of 3. So 113.04. Yeah. 4 times pi times 3 squared also comes up to 113.04. That'll be square feet.
So for my volume, I got 37.68.
You did 3 squared instead of 3 cubed. Yep. That's because it's 3 for the radius. This is why that works out that way.
So surface area square volume cube.
Yes. So what if I give you figures that look like this? And I ask you to find X and Y. Where do I start? 21 and 14 represent corresponding sides. So yes, 21 over 14. X is from the same figure as 21, so that goes with the 21. And 12 is its corresponding side. And then, let's multiply and divide, we get X is 18. Next, 12 over 14 stays. What's next? Oops, 21 over 14. Y over 4, good. 21 times 4, divided by 14, y equals 6. Of course, those should be feet. If I ask you to make a histogram, remember, a histogram is just you put ranges of numbers across the bottom. You number up the side. You put bars in. Histogram, the bars should touch each other. I won't take off points if they don't, but they really should. Let's say I ask you what major you're in. If you're in a health field, business field, or a trade. And we get 6 people that say they're in a health field. Let's see. 9 that say they're in a business field, and 5 that are in a trade. If I ask you to create a pie graph or a circle graph, we have to find the percent of each of those. And the first thing we got to do is find the total. That adds up to 20. We take each of those divided by 20. 6 divided by 20 is 0.3, which is 30%. 9 divided by 20 is 0.45, 45%. 5 divided by 20 is 0.25, or 25%. Now remember, we had said we're not going to do these perfect, but we know 25% is exactly a quarter circle. So that's going to be our trades. 45% is just less than half. So it's going to be something like that. That's going to be business. The rest is health. 30% is just over a quarter circle, so that makes sense. A line graph is used if you have changes over time. Let's say we're going to look at weeks in the semester. We're going to track your grade during the first 6 weeks of the semester. So you start out at 100%. You drop down to 88, climb back up to 91, back up to 93, fall down, you take a major test, you fall down to 84, and you climb back up to 90. So I've got week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Looks like 84 is the lowest we need to go, so let's do 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. So, oops, I gotta go up to 100 then. We're just going to improvise. Day 1, we got a point up there at 100. Day 2, or week 2, it drops to 88. Week 3 climbs back up to 91. 4 up to 93. 5 back down to 84. And 6 up to 90. Okay, so when we look at this, this can tell us very quickly where things drop the fastest, or where they drop, period, and where they're climbing. But that is our line graph. It changes over time. If I give you a list of numbers, you need to be able to find mean, median, mode, range, and standard deviation. If I tell you that for this class, the mean score is 82, the standard deviation of 6, I want to know what percent of students would be between let's do 70 and 94. We've got our bell curve. Remember, these percents are always the same. 34% on each side there. 13.5% here. 2.35% there and there. And 0.15% outside of that. The numbers that go down here, the middle number is the mean, 82. And we are going to subtract the standard deviation of 6. So this will be 76, 70, 64. We're going to add 6 going the other way. 88, 94, and 100. So between 70 and 90, that'd be from here. Or 70 and 94, but from here to here. I add up all those percents. It's 95%. What if I ask what percent is going to be between 82 and 94? Here's 82. Here's 94. If I add them up, that looks like 47.5% if I add those. Any questions on that? Finally, graphing. If I ask you to graph y equals 3/4 x minus 2, where's that going to start? Down 2. Good. From there, where's it going to go? Up 3 over 4. This number, plus or minus, tells us from the center, where do we go to start? It's a -2, so we go down 2. The number that multiplies x, the top number, if it's just a whole number, we make it into a fraction by putting it over 1. The numerator tells us to rise. So from this starting point, we go up 3. From there, the numerator, the bottom number, tells us how far to go over. That's 4, so we went over 4. There's our line. What if it looked like this? What do we have to do? We've got to get y by itself. So we're going to subtract 2x. So -5y equals 10 minus 2x. And divide by -5. So y equals 10 divided by -5 is -2. -2x divided by -5. Negative divided by negative is a positive. 2 divided by 5 is just 2 over 5. X. So where's it going to start out? -2 again. 2/5 means we go up 2 over 5. At this point, I feel you guys are adequately prepared for the test.